This is Matchweek. You are joined by myself, Ardi and Mini. We discuss everything soccer from the highs and the lows in the sporting week to the news that is relevant to you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we are live, top of the hour on WMSC, Upper Montclair, and this is Matchweek.
Este es Matchweek. Am I on?
Oh yeah, you're on, no worries.
I can't hear myself.
You can't hear yourself? Well, I think there's something wrong with your headphones then, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, thanks for having me on again, Ardi.
Guys, in case you're wondering, it's just the three of us today. It's just Besmir Zuda, Dejan, Bursak, and myself, Ardi Amini.
The three amigos.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it the
more like the two guys and the refugee. You know what I'm saying? Or
well, more like if Jonathan's not here. How can we call ourselves the amigos if Jonathan's not here?
Yeah, exactly. That's like that's like an appropriation of some sort.
Yeah, but we call ourselves the three Matchweek guys for now.
Or the three Europeans.
Yeah.
The three rejects. The three washed-up soccer players. Anything goes.
Yep, just keep taking some more slight digs at us there.
I'm taking digs at myself right now. I'm just like internalizing. Like, I just look defeated at the moment. Anyways, guys, welcome back this week. Now we have some stuff going on. Here's the thing though. As per usual, if you're tuned in for the Serie A team of the season, you're going to have to wait till the second half of the show because the first half is going to be us having a good time. We're going to be talking about some of the international break results that occurred, how we're feeling. Besmir with his Hungarian national team call-outs finally worked in his favor, just to preface there. And we're just going to be discussing a few things that happened during the week. So let's get into it, guys. Hungary versus England. Wow.
What's it the wow?
I mean, here's the thing. It was a great result by Hungary. They deserved it. England basically looked horrendous. But it's just you'd expect the newly tagged golden age of England of top talent to be putting it away against a team like Hungary. Yes or no?
Yeah, I agree. And gold age I wouldn't consider. I consider it bronze. So, I mean, England, with all the talent they have, you'd think they'd be smashing them at least 4-0. With no offense to Besmir and his coaching styles with the Hungarian national team. You'd think they'd be, have a nice, comfortable win, playing not even starters at this game, honestly. Although it is a UEFA Nations League, but, I mean, I don't know if people really take that serious enough. But they should have won this game a lot comfortably than 1-0.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Besmir, what are we thinking about? How we feel about this result right now?
Well, when you look at the fact that now England is, to this point, pretty spoiled for talents, right? You're looking at a team under Gareth Southgate, who many are skeptical about, who have been to now 2 major tournament semifinals consecutively. So they're no joke. People might say they're overrated. It doesn't. Their results don't lie. A World Cup and a Euro semifinal at this point, back to back, and you look at the team that started for them. I mean, it's all starters. Maybe Jared Bowen is the who's phenomenal. We've spoken about him plenty of times on this show.
He's definitely earned his England call up. It's not like it's just it's not like it's a random thing that they're trying to do someone a favor for.
Yeah, and for sure, And then I just look at this and. Sure, maybe Justin at left back. Maybe he's also not a starter, but Cody starts this match. I mean, even those guys who they're not horribly off to be starters for the national team. Harry Maguire, Kyle Walker, Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, Harry Kane, Mason Mount are all in this lineup. Trent Alexander-Arnold is in. And the guys that come off the bench, I mean, Stones, Reece James, Jack Grealish, Saka, Phillips. It's not. They didn't take this lightly. It's the first match day of the UEFA Nations League, and realistically speaking, that is a very positive result for Hungary. It's, once again, are we going to be surprised at all at who, the goal being scored by their, star player, I guess? Off a penalty, but hey, listen, a goal's a goal, a win's a win.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in the Nations League, where those 3 points are going to come back to haunt England, and you're looking at a group that's very, very competitive in Italy, Hungary, Germany, and England. That's no joke.
And granted, they did pull off the draw against Germany.
Yes.
Just what was it? Just yesterday, but
Hungary dropped a 2-1 result in the next match. Germany's only on 2 points out of 2 matches. So
here's my thing, though. It's that, do we see Gareth Southgate being the manager to take them to the next level, realistically?
At the international level? What other international managers are there?
I know, that's because sadly enough, you really don't have any other options in regards to talented managers. But then again, it's what I just don't see Gareth Southgate as good enough to be managing this national team, to be perfectly honest.
I think his track record doesn't harm him at all. I mean, once again, 2 semifinals. He's brought along quite a bit of young talent as well. He's done what we failed to see from the quote-unquote golden generation of the Lampard-Gerrard era, right? And with Rooney and Becks and everyone. I
mean, yes and no. I mean, both said teams were able to make it to semi/quarterfinals or even finals. Well, not finals.
No, but they've made it now to 2 consecutive major tournament semifinals, and it wouldn't be far off to say or to predict them doing the same in the next tournament. On their day, they have talent from top to bottom, and it's not this superstar quality talent in terms of, they want all the media attention. There's a lot of humble, hardworking players in this side.
Yeah, but it's just tough because then when you see someone like a Mason Mount starting out on the left for some reason, don't get me wrong, I think Mason Mount's a great player when he plays in his position, but you got to concede at some point. You can't decide, oh, wait, let me start a Jared Bowen in this match, but then try to force in a horseshoe a Mason Mount for no reason. You have to be able to still make a balanced team with the players you have and experiment in a proper way. And granted, yes, this Nations League, I think England already secured their World Cup qualification, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But still, this is your, okay, this is where we got to take it serious a bit, because this is the last bit of performance we're going to have before World Cup comes around.
And that's the thing. I think my biggest issue with... it's not really an issue. It's Nations League right now, but let's be real, they are a bit glorified friendlies right now because everyone's just preparing for the World Cup. This is the last major time where managers will get a look at their players. They go from playing a 3-4-3 against Hungary, losing the match 1-0, tying Germany, playing a 4-3-3, 4-5-1 almost. And now suddenly you're looking at Stones comes in to play next to Maguire. You got Trippier and Walker on at fullbacks. Phillips playing next to Rice, Mount through the middle as a 10, Saka and Sterling out wide, and Harry Kane up top. And that doesn't include players like Jack Grealish did come on, Jude Bellingham came on, and Jared Bowen came on. So, and let's not, we can talk all day about the 1 trillion players England has for depth. We haven't even seen a Tomori play yet. So,
Tomori's going to be a hot topic later on in the show today, but still, the fact that, to be honest, he's not starting in this England team right now is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, and especially with the hatred we send towards Harry Maguire, and the fact that he still started for the national team.
Here's the thing, right? Harry Maguire deserves all the flack he deserves. He is such a trash center back for Manchester United. But when it comes to being on the big stage for England, we say this time and time again, he somehow is able to just pull his pants up and just get the job done.
Yeah, I still think being an international, being in an international match, you look at Harry Maguire and think, wow, he's really blown it at the club level. Does he deserve to continue playing for his national team, for his country? When you look at someone like a Tomori, who was, I mean, I think calling him a rock isn't even doing him enough justice. I think he was so good.
Don't get me wrong. I 110% agree with you. But then again, it's like, for example, a Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford, I don't think is good enough to be starting as an England goalkeeper. But then again, he's always had superstar performances every time it comes to the national team. So how can you bench someone when for some reason they just turn it on? It's such a tough call to make as a manager. So that's where I give credit where credit is due to Southgate, being able to sort of take some call-ups or some positionings on the chin. But here's the question I pose the most. For England to be a successful World Cup team, who is going to be the starting back line? Like, is it a 5-back? Is it a 4-back? Who's going to be in there?
I just do a regular 4-back. I mean,
the only thing I'm worried about personally is that
it's Harry Maguire. Say it. Go ahead.
No. Actually, I'm worried about Luke Shaw because usually for England he was last World Cup. I think he was the star defender for them. You can say otherwise, Besmir. Yes or no?
Moving on.
Okay, he's like okay. Everyone can insult Luke Shaw all he wants, and rightfully so this season. But for England, he was the only one to score in the final for them. Kept them in most games. Was defensively solid on the left side.
Yeah, and I don't want to attack Luke Shaw. I think he played very well. I think he finally played to what his potential showed when he was at Southampton.
Yes.
Last
season, Euros and last season showed Luke Shaw's potential. 100%.
He had one very strong season, but then it's all just I think been underwhelming again.
I know, but that's the worry though. It's that if he's in this downturn of form, does he get called up again by Southgate?
Well, that's the thing, and realistically, it's almost in the same respect to Harry Maguire. Does he deserve it? Now, Harry Maguire is maybe, I think he said it best that fans can say whatever they want, but managers continue to play him for United. So Ralph Rangnick knows the game. He knows what he's not foolish by any chance.
But do you think it was because out of desperation, because an Eric Bailly every time he goes on he gets injured, or because it was just him and Lindelof? Varane's always being injured. All their extra center backs they kept loaning out.
No, I think Rangnick had some kind of trust in Maguire. I mean, I've told you this before. We've had this discussion on this show that I think Maguire deserves, this year to adapt, or even another year to adapt at United under all this chaos
scrutiny.
that's happening, and all the scrutiny they're being put under. It's very hard to play and to focus on your game when everything's happening a million miles an hour. I mean, it's like that over at Chelsea too. So I can say, I feel bad for Harry Maguire. I think he deserves a little more respect and to be given a little more time. I think next season he'll have a very good season. I think I personally believe, I'm confident to say he'll start at the World Cup, and I think he's gonna have a good one.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you, but I only see Harry Maguire performing at United if the captaincy is removed from him, to be perfectly honest.
I compare Harry Maguire to Ochoa.
Oh, for Mexico, yeah.
Only in World Cups does he ever perform, and that's where he shines at the top of the stage.
I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Back in 2018, Moscow, that's the performance that got him sold to United. Like that was the creme de la creme of okay, wow, this player is actually decent, and that's something I sort of want to divulge our discussion into, is that do we think that international tournaments during the summer really overblow players? I would say transfer value / value of themselves, because we've seen it time and time again of someone having a stellar international tournament and then they just fall off when it comes to the club season.
I mean, I personally think that if in Maguire's case, when you're playing with England, you have all these players that that they're all English. You know how to play with them. Or as if United, you have a mix of other countries, and you don't really gel with them. But when you're in the international stage, you understand everybody's mindset, how you have to play, and it's more together. Although for a club where you have people from Belgium, Netherlands, and other stuff who either just now got into the Premier League, or it's maybe his first, second season, still warming up, but everybody understands that for England, you have to play a certain way because the fans are not going to accept anything less.
Yeah. Besmir, what are we thinking?
I pretty much agree with Dejan. I mean, I think Dejan hit it spot on. It's a situation that we all kind of. I mean, I don't know. You don't have a different view to Dejan's, do you?
I mean, granted, I think patriotism does play a big part in sort of this inflation of players, but then also it's just tough because it's sort of like you'll never see that type of environment set up for them at the club level, like how Dejan explained. It's very much like, for example, for Real Madrid, when they brought in James Rodriguez. Like, James was a solid player, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't good enough to replace and get Angel Di Maria sold.
Yeah, but, I mean, so this is the point I think I want to make, and that is the last generation of England players, right, the golden generation, didn't do well at the international stage because of their die-hard
Club loyalties
and how, you'd go to the national team camp and at lunchtime or dinner time there was the Chelsea table, there was the United table, there was the Arsenal table, and then there was the smaller clubs table, right? But everyone was kind of split off, and John Terry, Rio Ferdinand shared the pitch how many times together for the national team and hate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, they might have some respect for each other, but they don't like each other. It's a known fact.
Well, also because of off-field stuff.
Yeah, which, but I mean, across the board, they just didn't get along.
Yeah.
They respect each other, they were professional with each other, but I am all about all the hype around the current English national team players because you know what? They've always had the hype at the club level and failed at the international stage. Now that they're performing, let them carry that hype with them because you know what? If England was to win the World Cup this year, it'd be a long-awaited return, home for the trophy. But I'm all about it. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you want to hype your players as much as you possibly can, and I can speak for you and myself when I say we're kind of resident England fans around here.
Yep.
We, which obviously starts from the golden generation when all of our favorite players at the club level are playing at the international level. I think it's fair. Yeah, does it really bump up their transfer fees and does it really inflate them? I mean, overinflate them? Yeah, it does. That's not something we can, try to cover. But why not? They're supporting their players on their national team. Speaking of English fans and media, they're supporting their fans. I mean, their players who are going to go represent their nation at a World Cup, trying to bring international glory. They're trying to bring it home, right? So I'm all about it. I mean, we see the World Cup frenzy that happens in our own country here every 4 years.
Yeah, when everyone decides to become a soccer fan.
And suddenly everyone was always a Landon Donovan fan out of nowhere.
Dempsey.
Yeah. Or like the random guy, the average Joe try to walk up to you and be like, well, if you look here and you see how they play this 4-4-2, they're not really running their routes well. It's like, what routes are we talking about?
You sit there, you go have a nice little coffee.
It's like, you're looking at them, it's like routes, like what? There's no safeties.
Stephen A. Smith is yelling about Clint Dempsey scoring a goal or something on ESPN.
Clint Dempsey will never be good enough in comparison to Landon. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Sorry, Steve. I won't concede to this. This is not true.
Yeah, no, he's... First of all, oh my God. Stephen A. Smith, never mind, no comment. But, I'm all about it. I mean, listen, we do it here. Let's be real. Christian Pulisic, how are you going to pronounce it?
It's Pulisic to all the Americans that say it.
Yeah, but on all the Chelsea YouTube videos
I know.
with him, they call him Pulisic.
Yeah, exactly. Pulisic is how you say it.
So,
but for some reason, all the Americans... every time you hear American commentators, like, Pulisic...
So Pulisic, let's be real, he's a top-level player. I love
100%,
him.
yes.
Americans fans who only watch the World Cup will say he's the GOAT, the best player.
the LeBron
James of soccer.
They'll say he's the best player we've ever had in this country. Oof. Lord, listen, might he get there?
Maybe.
Could be.
I think there's a good chance he will.
I have a question to ask.
I think he's more talented than the whole Donovan Dempsey era. I think he's more talented than all those players.
Well, of course, that's just a progression of time and the sport finally more athletes involved. But my question is, do you think Christian Pulisic can only have like an actual like future and career in front of him if it's with or without Chelsea.
No, I think it's with Chelsea for the simple fact that, once again, Chelsea was a team in turmoil this year with everything that happened to them. I think look at him once they came out of lockdown. He was on another level.
He was electric, yeah.
I think he is the kind of player that Tuchel likes in his side too.
Well,
and he's the only real dribbler we have at the club.
It's just an issue of sort of the team being discombobulated because you have players in and around the team. There's not really a solid lineup going on at the moment, with Werner sort of experimenting in the position that Pulisic is sort of used to, and then you have other players like a Ziyech and so on and so forth, even Callum Hudson-Odoi, where it's sort of a struggle of trying to figure out where he fits in that side.
Yeah, well, listen, no, I think, once again, I'm just going to play the long-term game with Christian Pulisic. I think over the long term, he's going to find a lot of success at Chelsea. I mean, listen, he won the Champions League at Chelsea.
Yeah, already, yes.
Scoring goals along the way. You know, it's easy for people to say, oh, he didn't play Christian Pulisic against Burnley, he must hate him. He played him in all the big matches.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, for God's sake, he was playing him. You know, he scored against Real Madrid last year, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, how many Americans have ever had the
chance to put one past
Thibaut Courtois?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it's crazy, is what it is. And Christian Pulisic is entering uncharted territory.
Well, this is his third year with Chelsea. No, he's coming into his third year.
Finishing his third.
He's finishing his third.
Yeah, because remember, lockdown kind of took everything.
Oh, that's
apart.
true. It's just
So, you know, and then so between the pandemic and then all the sanctions and everything this season with Chelsea, I think next year the club is going to have a good season, but I think Christian Pulisic is going to have a breakout year. Like I think it'll be more of a breakout year than we've seen from him yet.
So if you're Chelsea, you're the board, you're the scouts and everything, you're running that club. Do you start building that team around him?
It's hard because there's so many players at that age, right? You're now building around a core group of players. Look at Kai Havertz.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's the problem about me. Because you have a Havertz, you have a Mason Mount, you have players like even a Reece James that are still young.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's lucky to be in a position where they have a lot of young talent.
And then you have Conor Gallagher coming back too. Billy Gilmore's coming back.
It's crazy. I mean, Ben Chilwell's only in his early 20s.
He's coming back from injury. It's just that's the thing. Injuries will define a player, so let's see how he bounces back from it.
The best thing is, so in Chelsea's last match, he made his appearance, his return, ahead of schedule, which was nice. And with modern technology, it's not too much of a surprise, you know. I think, you know, they're very lucky to be in a situation where there's so many young players across the board at Chelsea, top to bottom, that, you know, they really don't have to worry about building around one superstar player. You know, they have a whole contingent of national team starters and captains and stuff that they're playing with the experience of already winning a Champions League, you know? So I think it just fares right. But for Christian Pulisic, I think Chelsea's a good place for him to stay. I think Thomas Tuchel is the kind of manager that will help him flourish. And I really I can't think of anywhere else where he would fit in, you know?
Juve.
No. Actually, to be honest...
McKennie Pulisic.
No. Pulisic at Liverpool.
No. Why? That's always
I feel like he would thrive so well in that system with Klopp as such a press-heavy side, someone who's always in the final third, constantly trying to break through. Yeah,
but I also think he's someone where he's flourished for Chelsea in a same kind of Eden Hazard type role where he's able to take the ball.
He free roams. He's allowed to free roam. Yes, I agree.
Him being able to pick up the ball and dribble at defenders and stuff is what really makes him look, you know, next level. And I think that's, you know, there's a lot of talk around Romelu Lukaku and is he staying, is he going? You know, everything's rumors right now, so let's be real about that for a second. Yeah. Everything is rumors. I don't take anything until I see either Fabrizio Romano report it or
here we go.
It's on the ticker across Sky Sports and it's official.
Yeah.
You know, I think the two of them could have done something special together. You know, especially if you throw in like a Kai Havertz.
Well, do you think it's because how sort of Lukaku was forced to play this season? Because for some reason, every time Lukaku came on, it was like he has to be playing the 1-2s, build up play. But every time I saw Kai Havertz come on, it was sort of like have him running behind, where it's the complete opposite with those two players. Like you sort of want Kai Havertz getting more involved in the build up play, holding up the ball, passing the ball off, whereas you want Lukaku running it behind and just banging shots nonstop.
Lukaku at Everton was give me the ball to my feet. I have the strength. One turn and I have the guy.
Well, the way how I always explain Lukaku at Everton, where he thrived, he probably was played at his best, was that he played as if he was a left winger at striker. Sort of like it's hard to explain because like what he would do, he would just stand in space, get the ball, take huge touches, like run as fast as he can, just take shots nonstop at goal.
But now he's not doing that because
Well, it's just how Chelsea plays. Chelsea, they like to build up more. Like they're really, I would say, press heavy. They're a progressive carrying team.
Yeah, well, I would say I don't want to blame Chelsea's playing style for why Lukaku didn't have a better season. Now,
of course.
Listen, he did grab 15 goals this year. Honestly, I think his attitude's been very poor.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't on the radio, I'd use a couple other words to describe it.
Yeah, choice to words.
Yeah. But it's been very poor. It's been very underwhelming in that I was hoping he'd come in and have this big, dominant, Drogba-esque, personality about him and kind of come in and dominate physically when he's fighting with center backs, and he'd come in and leave it all out there and the big celebrations when he scores a goal. But to me, it seemed more like he was here for the Lukaku show. And, I say it all the time, no player is bigger than the club. And the fact that he didn't want to provide that, I think, hurt as much as anything. With the interviews and the constant, I want to leave, or I'm not happy here, or I'm not whatever. They just spent $100 million on you nearly.
That's the thing. Like we talk about this all the time, right? It's like sort of some footballers start acting like as if they are
children.
Well, I would say more so like these NBA type starlets, where they're able to say or do whatever they want because they're on these like big money contracts, and they think like they're the Don Johns, when really you're sort of just like mediocre at best sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. He's acting as if he's an NBA player in a league where in a sport where it's sort of not allowed if you're not showing the performances.
Yeah, and I think it's not just that. I think he's been. Yeah, listen, he had a good season at Inter Milan last year. Great season at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
This season it wasn't a horrible season. Yeah, he grabbed 15 goals. Someone like him should be grabbing more. That's fair.
I agree.
Because he had 38 in just the Serie A alone.
Yeah, but listen, I'm going to say it again. Like, he had a very rough go at it with the timing of everything. With that listen, he's also... It was very silly to do that interview that he did.
That was also so the interview was recorded, I think.
They set him up for failure, basically.
Well, no, yeah, the interview I think was recorded like 6 weeks prior. Well, and then as soon as he's starting to get a good run of form with the club, it just drops out of nowhere.
Well, regardless of when he did it, right? You're a new transfer and you're going to mention leaving the club already? You're at your childhood club, the club that brought you in from Anderlecht and made you who you are. The club who trusted you in your first season at like 19 years old, 18 years old, to step up in the Super Cup in 2012 for the after we win the Champions League, and you miss a penalty. That's... You have to remember, that was a decade ago. When he started his career, he cost Chelsea a trophy missing that penalty, and it wasn't the end of the world. He was getting time. Lukaku has played for some of the biggest clubs in the world after he was picked up by Chelsea out of Belgium. And he's gone on to become an international star, starting for his national team, winning titles and everything, playing for Manchester United, Inter Milan, Everton, and now Chelsea again. He has to focus more on his game and not about, wherever he wants to be all of a sudden, however he's feeling on the day. Do your job, man. You're getting paid excessive amounts of money. An excessive amount of money was spent on you. Do your job.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Imagine going to a club and not celebrating big goals. Look at the professionalism he's lacking that someone like Olivier Giroud shows. At Arsenal, he dies for the badge. At Chelsea, he dies for the badge. At Milan this year, he dies for the badge. When he's playing for the national team, he dies for the national team.
Yeah.
He understands the amazing opportunity these athletes are given, these players are given to play at the highest level, making obscene amounts of money, and the class that oozes out of someone like an Olivier Giroud means it's not fair that he doesn't get the kind of
respect he deserves.
Plaudits that Lukaku does. He's just one example. There's a ton of examples across the board we can give. He has to stop acting like a spoiled brat. Do your job, man.
Yeah.
Do your job.
Now, I mean, now that you've mentioned Giroud, it sort of divulges into sort of a national team where you could look at them and they have 3 World Cup starting squads, to say the least. No, yes or no, guys? Am I wrong with that? With
No,
France,
you're right.
you could. There's enough players in their recruitment shortlist where they can have 3 starting lineups for the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, they are...
I'm pretty sure their U21s would also,
their
put in
U21s
the
would
same amount of
demolish.
performance starting with. So
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we look at France. You sit there and you look at, okay, pick a player out of Giroud, Benzema, and Mbappe to start up top.
I mean, that the thing that's unfortunate is, or even a Griezmann now, because Griezmann's back in the conversation for
poor
that.
Didier Deschamps. I feel so bad for him.
I don't. There's a good chance he's going to pick up a World Cup title this winter.
Yeah, but imagine trying to select the squad
That's not
out of all the
difficult,
quality players that
honestly.
you have.
Oh no!
for
See,
France.
that's the joke on you guys. All he has to do is put a bunch of names in a hat and just start pulling random names
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Benzema
And then-
at center back, Giroud at the 6. Like, who cares?
He
They'll
could
be
honestly
fine.
have a full starting 11 of attackers and get away with it.
Yeah.
Get away with it. Easy.
Oh yeah, no, he's very, very lucky to be in a situation where, once again, he's not one of those managers that has to sit out there and worry about who's starting what, who's doing what. He's allowed to go out there and simply manage these superstars and make sure you're just getting the best out of them. And at the end of the day, they're going to be just fine. I'm very confident in saying that I think they are going to be, I think they already are a favorite.
Well, they're ranked 3rd in the world by FIFA.
Yeah, so
But then somehow, I'm not going to lie, I don't know how Belgium's ranked number 1 personally.
I still think they have a lot of hype behind them. And, Belgium loses a few matches here and there, but they're only like knockout games.
They lost 4-1 last game.
Yeah. I think all the hype that surrounded them for so long is turning around to bite them now.
Well, if you look at Belgium, they really don't have that much of a defensive lineup anymore. Like, Alderweireld's gone. Vertonghen's not there anymore. Like, who do you really have as an option?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's still plenty of players. When we look at...
They're playing, but I don't think they're good enough for the international stage anymore, personally.
I mean, but you look at, like, Croatia, who put out a lineup against France with Erlich and Vida playing together, Like, there's some of these players who the casual listener will never have heard of. No one knows who Juranovic is. It's... but you look at... look at the France side that went out and tied Croatia, once again, Croatia is someone who's going to the knockout stages. They're going to be immense in the next tournament. France was able to step out there and put Digne, Pavard, Saliba, Kimpembe, with Chumani, Guendouzi, Diaby, and Kunku, Rabiot, and Ben Yedder out against Croatia and tie them 1-1. Where on earth... Their bench of Hugo Lloris, Konate, Koundé, Griezmann, Mbappe, Coman, Kamara, Klaus, Benzema, Hernandez, the other Hernandez, and Areola, that's not even considering all these other players.
If you look at that lineup, that's a young side. That's a lot of young players to be starting for.
Yeah, and they played against a very strong Croatia
and that's
side.
the thing. If you remove Ben Yedder and maybe a Digne, 2 of the older players in the squad, I think the average age right there is 22.
Yeah, no, it is, and they played against a side that
very experienced.
The Croatian midfield was Modric, Brozovic, and Kovacic.
And half of everybody else, you just have no clue who they are.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, you don't really know who they are. But that midfield alone, it doesn't even include a Rakitic.
Croatia wanted to win the game with just the midfield.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Kramaric didn't start that match.
Pasalic.
Sucic, Pasalic didn't play.
Also,
came
France
on.
was a little nice to them. They didn't start Mbappe or play him.
Yeah, and listen, but that's how you can tell. It's a Nations League match, right? It was a Nations League match. At the end of the day, who said it? Well, De Bruyne said it, I believe. The Nations League are just glorified friendlies.
Yeah.
Listen, in countries like this, where in CONCACAF, you don't see CONCACAF nations winning Champions Leagues. Our continental tournament isn't nearly as popular as the UEFA European Championships are.
Well, for the U.S., they only play in the Gold Cup. No, that's the only real international tournament they play in.
Yeah, and all the CONCACAF tournaments aren't really that strong. So when we win a Nations League, when we have any chance to win a trophy here, it's great because we don't get to compete in the Euros.
Wait, were we invited to the last Copa America?
I don't think the last. I think it was the one before.
That's how is that? How is it not a competition that like the U.S. isn't regularly invited to?
Because the U.S. isn't in South America.
Well, look, it's Copa America. It's just a cup for America.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think it's
Copa America's always been, just South American countries. They're never invited.
I know, but you can't see because Mexico's always in there, and Mexico's North America.
Not always, but yeah, no, they get invited pretty often. I mean, so the last group stage of the Copa America was Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, and Bolivia. Bolivia is the one team that got knocked out of the Group A, and then Group B, right? Because there's only 10 sides in it: Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela. Mm-hmm. So when you look at those teams that come out, I mean, and obviously it's just Argentina, Brazil in the final, like always. Especially after the huge downturn like Chile's taken the last couple of years and whatnot.
Colombia, talk about.
I mean,
well, they're on an uptick right now.
Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of young talent coming through.
Colombia?
Yeah, Colombia has a slight uptick in players coming through now.
Yeah, and thank God it's past this whole James Rodriguez
phase.
Now it's on to Luis Diaz.
Super hype. Luis Diaz is so good.
No, but it's deservedly so. Like James, he's had great performances. Obviously, at the international stage, we can't deny that. When he's been able to play for certain clubs, he's played well, but he was never on the level that he was touted at. Like he was never. Like I said it before, there's no reason why a James Rodriguez should be forcing out Angel Di Maria out of a Real Madrid when Angel Di Maria was sometimes the reason why Real was making it to finals at that point. Like he was going supernova those
the
2
only
seasons.
reason, and it's so ridiculous to say, is James Rodriguez, I will forever say, was simply someone who could hit a goal from distance, hit a banger once in a while, and suddenly he's, wow, look how great he is, and he was all this hype. And Colombians, as a people, are very proud of their star players.
Yeah, Jonathan.
So yeah, if he was here and I say, hey, James, he was different class. Yeah, lower class. There are so many of these players. Like Juan Cuadrado can work so hard and be so successful, and yet he gets nowhere near the applause James gets.
He doesn't get enough respect.
He can have a great match for the national team, and the headlines afterwards are James Rodriguez not called up to the national team. Well, so be it. He isn't the first. He won't be the last star player to come in and out of the national team. His impact on the national team is a fraction of what Radamel Falcao's was.
Yeah.
How quickly forgotten is he? El Tigre was phenomenal.
Radamel Falcao is someone who could have been a legend of the game even more if it wasn't for injuries.
Yeah, and if he had left Porto sooner.
Yeah, Porto or even Atletico sooner.
But he's...
Or if he played at Chelsea and other places.
Yeah, there's so
Chelsea,
many.
I mean, like, here's the thing. He played better at Chelsea than he did when he was at United.
Well, regardless, though, he still represented... Right,
United, two of
Chelsea,
England's top clubs. Like
United,
that shows a lot.
Chelsea, Atleti. It's not a joke.
How about that season with him and Mbappe, dude? That chip he had against Man City in the Champions League. At 33 years old, being able to do what Falcao was able to do against the Manchester City side in the Champions League, like
with Willy Caballero and that.
But it doesn't matter, dude. Caballero has been one of the more solid goalkeepers of the past decade.
Yeah, I mean, look at his meteoric rise, right? He goes from River Plate to Porto for 2 years, spends 2 years at Atleti, his 6 years at Monaco. Yeah, he spent a couple years on loan at United and Chelsea. Then to Galatasaray. First of all, he has scored goals everywhere. And now he's at Rayo Vallecano.
And still
where
scoring goals.
He's still scoring goals.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old.
Doesn't matter.
He's like Joaquin at Real Betis.
Yeah.
Ageless.
But what is Joaquin? He's retiring now after being...
No,
40.
he said he's doing one more season.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, how old is he now? He's 40?
40.
He's just 40 dead on?
He will be 41 years old and he's a he's the standard of excellence.
Yes.
He is Ronaldo without the hype. Obviously, Ronaldo.
Did you see that photo online of Joaquin where it was like him in his underwear at like 17 winning the
Yeah, and
winning the Copa del Rey? Then it was him at like 40 in his underwear winning the Copa del Rey.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's able to wear the same pair of underwear for 2 decades isn't astonishing.
No.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Oh, so I thought it was an exact replica picture.
No.
But, I mean, he is... When they talk about legends of the game, like his story is one that should be told.
It's a sad thing though, because like people who are like one man clubs besides like a Steven Gerrard don't really get talked about as much. Like a Francisco Totti, most kids don't really know about.
Gerrard wasn't a one man club. Neither was Lampard. John Terry wasn't.
I mean, technically, people will classify them as that,
but they weren't.
They weren't.
Philip Lahm was.
Philip Lahm was.
I will say...
Paul Scholes was.
That's one thing I will say is I very much respect these guys that are one-man clubs entirely. Listen, it's not a fact. It's not a hidden fact that I'm a Chelsea supporter. John Terry, Lampard, Drogba...
Guys, hold on. Wait. Matchweek breaking news. Besmir Zuda is an Arsenal supporter. No,
as stated by Fabrizio Romano, here we go.
Besmir
Chelsea
Zuda.
Supporter. But no, it's... We can do a whole segment on the important factor of loyalty.
Yes.
And listen, Frank Lampard, gets bought by Chelsea. Or listen, John Terry comes out of the academy, wants to continue playing, but Chelsea doesn't want to offer him a contract.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's players that leave because of loyalty not being shown to the club by the player, and there is vice versa situations. You know, and I think that's the one thing where, realistically, what did Gerrard benefit from going to L.A.?
That's right. I forgot he went to L.A.
What did Gerrard benefit from going to L.A.?
Nothing. He just made some money.
0. Now, if you're going to leave and you're going to come to play in the MLS, right, it's for the money. Oh, it's for the L.A. lifestyle. You lived there for a year. 2 years, maybe.
2 years. He was there for 2 years.
Like, you turned down Chelsea, Real Madrid, and all these other clubs, United, when you were in the prime of your career... could have gone on to win every single trophy there is to win in the game.
I'm going to be honest. If Gerrard went to Manchester United, no disrespect to Chelsea, I'm just saying, if he went to Manchester United under Ferguson in a midfield of Scholes, Gerrard, and Kane, it's raps. I'm sorry, it's raps, bro.
Gerrard, Mourinho says it all the time. I love Steven Gerrard, but he always turned me down everywhere. He tried to buy Steven Gerrard every transfer window. He was at Chelsea.
He hit him up. It's a quarterly call. Like, oh hey Jose, how you doing? Hey Gerrard, what about this time? You know, I got a couple extra bucks for you. No.
You know, like I think Jose Mourinho said Jose. I think Jose says he goes. I tried to buy him at Chelsea. He turned me down. Inter Milan. He turned me down. Real Madrid. He turned me down. He goes now because it was like an international match where it was some kind of soccer aid event or something like that. He's like, now he can't turn me down. He's stuck with me. You know, Jose. I mean, listen, Steven Gerrard. Who said it? Was it Zlatan that said it? No, somebody said a quote recently that said if Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard had played together, nobody would mention Iniesta and Xavi.
That is true.
And now anyone listening that's going to kill me for this knows I say the midfield trio of Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta
is uncomparable.
Is unreal, arguably the best midfield trio in history. However, the amount of goals that would be scored by a Lampard and Gerrard midfield combo. Listen, 8 seasons spent together, Lampard and Drogba. Lampard outscored Drogba, who scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
5 out of 8 seasons, Lampard was outscoring a striker.
Yeah.
Gerrard and Lampard, they'd have Messi, Ronaldo type numbers from comparable to midfielders.
And you have Paul Scholes right behind them, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? Maybe if Gerrard didn't slip, Lampard would be there to cover him. Liverpool would have himself a title now.
It's so unreal. And listen, the best meme I've seen all season was Steven Gerrard has now let the title slip away twice from Liverpool.
No, stop.
In that last game against City.
Man.
You're up 2-0.
2-0, and then you
Up 2-0. How great is that? It was almost written in the stars. There is nothing I love more in the beautiful game than when a fairy tale ending is about to be written, and then the bad guys come in and ruin it all.
Exactly.
Guardiola came in and did that.
City have done it twice now. They took a title away from Manchester United, and then they took a title away from Liverpool.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's arguably one of the greatest moments in Prem history is the
the
Aguero moment.
goal. I mean, he's in the Matchweek intro for a reason.
And the only reason being Balotelli was involved in it. So that for me.
Well, no,
is
it
all
was
that matters.
that was his only goal involvement.
it was not his only goal.
Yes, it was.
Calm down.
It was.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he didn't do anything that whole season besides
No.
set up Aguero for.
Come on. No, what was it? It was Tevez to Balo and to Aguero. Like what? Talk about three phenomenal strikers there.
Yeah, and it is absolutely like I am so happy to see Liverpool talk about this huge quadruple. And then be stuck with the 2 domestic trophies they won on penalties.
Stop.
Listen, listen. Liverpool is a massive club, massive club, phenomenal players.
No.
Are
West
top
Ham
class.
is massive. How dare you?
Well, no, Everton, no, but
No, it's just that it's an honorary meme online that said like West Ham's massive, bruv. Come on.
now listen, I think it is actually phenomenal that. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thanks. Oh, you're such a great guy, Dejan.
Sorry, I was focused on trying to find. I'm gonna make you eat your words in a couple seconds.
For what?
That was his only goal involvement.
I will eat my words all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're right with that, Dejan, but it's okay. We'll let you think what you want.
Yeah.
There's no way he didn't put a goal past like QPR that season. No offense to Queen's Park Rangers, but come on.
Look where you are now, League One. Exactly.
Are they really? They're all the way down in League One?
No, they dropped low. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Listen, they deserve that after all the scandals they get involved in all the time.
Well, yeah, because they
caused John Terry his captain's armband.
Dude, they always do some shady stuff, that club. For no reason.
And it's not just them. Honestly, like, I have a real big problem, a huge problem with the FA. And that's a whole other conversation.
And then if you want to find out why Besmir has a huge problem with the FA, you'll find out next week's episode.
When we trash the English FA.
Exactly. We'll trash it. We'll never trash the national team, but we will trash the FA on lock, ready to go.
Yeah, because every federation has its problems. We can go English FA next week, and then we can talk about the problem with pay to play or something like that. If you really want, I'm gonna start to sweat now. Let's change the topic.
Anyways, guys, we are wait, damn! Before we transition, did you find your statistics yet? I want to make sure.
Balotelli has admitted that he intended to shoot when he received the ball from Sergio Aguero's famous 93.
Okay, that's not the point you made though. The point you made was that was his only goal involvement that whole season.
The Italian was instrumental in the goal which sealed our first Premier League title, grabbing his only assist of the season when he played the ball.
Okay, what about goal? What about goal?
No, oh my God! You know what? Go ahead.
Goal involvement means either you score a goal or you assist a goal. That's the whole point of the word.
Even
goal
that season, he only scored 9 goals and got 13 assists.
Okay, thank you. That was not his only goal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like, how dare you?
How dare you disrespect Balotelli, bro?
I don't. I love Balotelli.
Yo, how about since we're transitioning to the Serie A, I want to talk about real quick Balotelli's season with Milan where he scored 38 goals in the league.
Listen, Balotelli. Yeah. There's one reason for that. Who was his manager?
It was Ancelotti, no? That was when Ancelotti was there.
Yes. And his other successful season came on the other side of Milan.
Well, yeah, but he didn't reach those heights with Mourinho.
Listen, that was my point is Balotelli needs these managers we spoke about a lot. With his attitude, problems is an understatement.
Yeah.
With his crazy persona, he needs these experienced and top-level managers to just reel him in a bit. Rumor has it Balotelli's going to Berlusconi's own club that just got promoted to Serie A.
Monza?
Yeah.
What?
AC Monza?
Yeah. So
he's going back.
You know,
he did pretty good in the Turkish league this season.
Oh, he's all over the place, which is something I love.
What was it? His one goal where he just started doing scissors. He just started doing scissors, cut to the left, and then Rabona the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Balotelli.
Disgusting.
Balotelli on his day is class. But as again we talk about it, sometimes the mental game just gets to you.
That's thing. One thing I really, really would like to see. Sorry, is Balotelli in like MLS. Imagine the scandal.
Balotelli to Red Bulls.
Like Balotelli, 3 p.m. kickoff, arrives at the hotel at 1 p.m. from night out the night before in LA. Like that's kind of stuff you'd.
Or
hear
he
from him.
was in the city. He had a towel. He was like, yeah,
Yeah, like Balotelli subs himself off at NYCFC to go out for brunch in New York City.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of stuff you'd see from Balotelli.
Or he gets caught in LA with some like influencers as a content house. Doesn't want to show up to a game, you know.
Balotelli scores 3 goals for LA Galaxy, then does TikTok off field.
He pulls up to like a random vlogger's like vlog. He's like, "What's up? I'm Mario Balotelli. Are you playing? Nah, my team doesn't need me. They're fine."
Yeah, Balotelli's decided he's taking the weekend off.
Exactly.
Hey, but Balo, big match for the playoffs. Are you? You know what?
We'll see.
It's my sister's birthday. I'm injured.
No.
Neymar told me.
I got paid off to not be there today. I'm so sorry.
They bought me a box of fireworks. I have to go light them off in my bathroom again.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You know, hey, look. We're talking about craziness. Real Valladolid gets promoted.
Yeah.
R9 is the owner of the club. Owns 51%.
Oh, I know what he was going to talk about.
He is going to make a 436-kilometer trek on bike. It's some sacred pilgrimage, I believe, in Spain.
Yeah.
Some religious pilgrimage. R9, he's like, I can't run that. He goes, I couldn't run that in my prime. You know, but he's going
to... Well, his ACL's being blown out, that's why.
He's going to bike 436 kilometers because his club got promoted. How awesome is that? Like, you ever see the scene where Rocky starts running, there's people behind him, or Forrest is running, people join him?
He should do that with the cycling GK, Ben Foster.
Yeah.
What?
Let him make a video out of it.
And Ben Foster's leaving now, right?
Well, yeah, but
he
announced it. So, last thing, but where does, real quick, before we start, you're listening top of the hour on WMSC Upper Montclair.
Este es Matchweek. The whole pointer finger and everything has to be done with
Yeah, but they don't see that. So they don't know.
Just envision me saying that, or Jonathan, because that's me impersonating Jonathan, because it's the sincerest form of flattery, is just a pointer finger going up, like someone's conducting an orchestra. But anyway,
just like Matchweek, we're just going up.
Yes, through the roof. It's over 9,000.
To the moon.
Yes, to the moon.
So, anyways, guys, let's get into Serie A Team of the Season. Now, I am going to read off EA's Team of the Season, which I think is personally scandalous. So, at goalkeeper, Magnan. At left back, they have Hernandez. Center back, Koulibaly. The other center back, Skriniar. Right back, Cuadrado. The 3 center mids is Tonali, Brozovic, Milinkovic-Savic. Left wing, Leao. Striker, Vlahovic. And right wing, Berardi. Their bench is Dybala, Kanaloglu, Mobley, Bremer. Now, what is one player missing? 2 players maybe that deserve a shout out. Just off the top of our heads.
Tamori.
Tamori.
And then
The disrespect.
Barella. Smalling. Lautaro Martinez. Like, EA, did you just think, like, oh, you know what? We're just going to try to sell packs. We don't care about the actual team of the season. So that's what we're here for. Match week.
It's also difficult. I mean, like, the players they have on here had very strong seasons. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, but you're telling me that a Tamori isn't guaranteed? He's had 4 different center back partnerships this season.
No, I agree. You know, I just think they... I think they try to overcomplicate things sometimes. Like, yeah, they can say, oh, we can't have Tonali, Hernandez, and Tamori, another defensive-minded player in the team of the season, but why not? You know, like, Rafa Leao is in there, and, you know, they have, 3... They only have 3 AC Milan players, 4 with Magnan.
No, 4 Magnan, yeah.
4 with Magnan. But realistically speaking, like, Tamori is being applauded around the world on the season he had, and he's not included in this. God.
All right.
Robbery.
So let's get to goalkeepers. So for our team of the season shortlist, here's the goalkeepers options.
Oh,
Magnan.
no, let's not even discuss. There's no way Magnan doesn't get this.
No, but you why you gotta cut me off my joke? I was
leaving.
gonna say Magnan, and Magnan, man.
I'm sorry.
And Magnan.
At least people know this isn't like scripted at all. I apologize. Go ahead. So rewind. All right, go back.
So for goalkeepers, it's Magnan, and Magnan. Okay.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, so-
It's not Dejan. So my vote goes to
My nan.
my vote goes to Gulashi.
Okay, no. We got Hungry out of the way, Besmir. We can't start talking about him again.
Okay, that's fine. I guess.
I guess.
I'm not here to argue with you guys. No, Magnan, dude, he's been phenomenal.
He's been class.
I can't think of a single goalkeeper that even comes near team of the season over him.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Szczesny and Sirigu had decent seasons for their clubs, but they're nowhere near Magnan's performance. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
nowhere
and
near.
especially in the situation, right? When we do this, I like to think of the situation players come into.
Yeah.
AC Milan looks brilliant, having let go of Donnarumma. Well, he didn't let go of Donnarumma. Donnarumma left.
Yeah.
He had a miserable season at PSG, if you ask me.
Yep.
Showed his immaturity. Showed the fact that, you know what, good for him. What he did to Milan, I'm happy with all the flack he's grabbing at
agree.
PSG. Magnan deserves all the respect he gets.
100%. I don't see anybody else making it besides him. Like he's had the most assists in for a AC Milan goalkeeper since Dida, right?
Yeah, 100%. GK number 1 is definitely going to be Magnan.
Yeah, no, and Magnan's clear.
Now, my question is, does he get the start for the French national team over Lloris?
Yeah, he has to. I'm sorry. There's no shot Magnan does not get the
Lloris
start.
is also the captain of French national
I know, but dude, like there's some points where you have, like, if you're a Lloris, you have to concede, like, wow.
Well, also, Lloris is the most, he's the veteran of the French squad.
He is a veteran.
Who else are you going to
He's
give that
usually
captain
the
armband to? You're not going to give it to Kipembe. You're not going to give it to Saliba.
What do you mean, bro? It's Mbappe.
Yeah.
It's no longer the France national team. It's the Mbappe national team.
Mbappe
It was part of his
only.
contract.
It's part of his contract. Okay?
Mbappe only controls PSG. That's
but you don't. I don't understand. PSG owns France.
Yes. Listen, next summer I'm going to visit France, go see the Mbappe Tower.
Yeah, exactly.
The Eiffel Tower, Dejan. The Eiffel Tower. Okay,
You were
just
like-
to be clear.
Yeah, Dan just looked at us like with like just.
Like I give up kind of look. So, I mean, listen, he has to be. And the fact that I'm going to be honest, looking up Magnan's past, I knew he was at Lille for a long time.
Yeah.
I had no idea he came out of the PSG academy.
Yeah.
How brilliant is that? Donnarumma gets out of here, goes to PSG. Magnan comes in and lifts AC Milan back to their former glory. And, like, that is what... Those are the kind of storybook endings I want to see, fairy tale endings. Not Liverpool winning trophies. I want to see players like Magnan shooting to stardom because the season he had, after being injured and all that this season, right? He didn't have it... He wasn't consistently healthy and all that, but Magnan, dude, he's phenomenal, man. When I think about the next generation of elite goalkeepers, he has that presence we talk about all the time. If Jonathan is here, we talk about goalkeepers all the time. He's a commanding presence.
100%.
You know, he's someone where if he's my goalkeeper, I know for the next decade, I have no problem.
yeah.
He's phenomenal. So I mean, obviously he gets our shout, right?
Now,
Yeah.
if you're into Milan, granted you have a Onana coming in on a free from Ajax, but are you worried transitioning from someone like a Handanovic to an Onana?
I think I love Onana.
I love him too, but
do
it's
too.
it's just the point of that Inter have been carried on Handanovic's back for so long. Is that where do you see them realistically going?
Well, I don't think they asked the question, Onana, what's my name? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, now you can leave for that one. You can leave for that
Listen,
one.
I've been waiting to use that one for a very long time. All right.
He's been itching.
But listen, when
nah,
you come in as Magnan, Onana, this is great stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
banter.
We
is
just
finest.
gained 3,000 listeners because of those jokes.
Good
So-
banter.
Yeah, it's great banter. There's no emotional damage. So Onana is going to come in. Handanovic is slowly getting to that point where I think he'd be comfortable being a backup.
Yeah.
Onana coming in. He's also in his early mid-20s, right? Mid-20s?
23.
20, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in.
Oh, he's only a year older than me.
Having Handanovic come in. Yeah, you still have hope.
No, I don't.
And
Look where we are.
Look, bro, I have a radio show. There's clearly no hope.
so Onana comes in, maybe spends a year splitting time with Handanovic, picking up. I mean, Handanovic is what, 35, 36? He's up there, no?
Yeah, I
like
thought it was 38.
38. So
I'm about to say right
spend the season maybe splitting time. Handanovic becomes the cup keeper.
Yeah.
And then a transition where Handanovic can sit on for another 3-4 years as a backup to Onana. Onana showed consistency in his health in his time at Ajax.
So much that so much he got banned. Like, I mean,
He was so healthy. They said take 6 months off. Or was it a year?
it was a year.
Take a year off because you're so healthy.
That's
Which I'm not going to blame any. I'm not going to place any blame on him. It happened. We move on. But the goalkeeping, the goalkeepers right now are entering, I think, an era where we were at this point where everyone wanted to be like De Gea and like what Kepa is now, where everyone's a ball playing, acrobatic keeper.
Yeah, but then I think everyone's realized, like, when you're someone like an Allison, who is, I think, genuinely is a shot stopper, I think you have to, that's where I think it's much more of a priority. It's too much of these, I wonder how we play these balls out, how we're going to connect to the defense. It's, can you stop a shot? Yes or no? That's what matters the most right now.
Yes, and I believe that every player on the field has their duty to the team. A goalkeeper is to be a shot stopper. Right?
That's it. You're stopping goals.
Exactly. I don't care how great you might be at cutting the ball back and making a forward look silly,
Well,
or
that's the thing,
how
like-
great you
like-
are at
like-
diving headers.
Like Neuer does all of that, and he's a shot stopper. So it's like,
Yeah, but all that complements his shot stopping ability.
Yeah.
Neymar, he's stuck in my head because he's rumored to Chelsea. Neuer is a phenomenal shot
but
stopper.
that's the point I'm trying to make, is that you can be all that, but first things first, you have to stop the ball.
Yeah, look at Courtois.
Easy as that.
Look at Courtois, man. He isn't known for his ball playing ability, but he had 9 saves in a Champions League final and pretty much single-handedly won that game for his team. Maignan, Onana, these guys I think are ushering an era with the Edersons, the Allisons of the world where it's about being a good keeper, a well-rounded keeper. I think being a sweeper keeper, I think that ability and stuff is just being played into the whole goalkeeper role now. I can't think of any of these top keepers that are bad with their feet either. I think they can all...
Ederson.
Hey, I'm going to say...
Ederson can't trap the ball. There's a difference.
No. How about Joe Hart, rightfully so? You ever see those him in the training videos where, like, he's just, like, putting them top bins for no reason?
You ever see his
like,
penalty against, what was it? Was it against you guys? I'm thinking the International Cup?
Joe Hart?
No, it was against Roma.
Yeah, Joe Hart scored a
Roma.
filth penalty.
Yeah.
It was against Roma.
I mean, Neuer hit one against Chelsea in the Champions League final in 2012. He stepped up and just barely squeaked one in to the keeper's right. It was brilliant.
Okay, not to keep talking about him because I hate keep talking about him on the show. But Harry Maguire's PK in the Euros, man. Like, the slabhead could barely defend, but yeah, he could bang a penalty with class.
Yeah, I mean headers and penalties. I mean that alone puts him on the side.
Own goals and penalties.
And Greek police officers.
And Greek police officers.
Yeah,
You got jumped by Albanians, bro. What do you want?
Yeah, listen, but anyway, Maignan, 100%.
Guaranteed. Goalkeeper.
Anyone that disagrees, tune off.
Now for defenders, I mean, Haisaj, come on, Albanian.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is.
He's Albanian. I mean, Beso. Look at me.
Yeah.
Hobajo.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean.
No, but seriously, okay, audience. Seriously, audience. So for our left back options, we have
formation.
That it's gonna be dependent on our picks. This is going to be free flowing. We figure it out as we go along.
Okay, my 3: Koulibaly, Milinkovic, Savic, and Tomori.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? You're going 3 center backs?
Yes, I am.
Why is Milinkovic Savic a center back?
Yeah, why'd you say Milinkovic Savic as a center back?
Because you can't really throw him into the midfield. I mean, I think there's so many other really good midfielders. Throwing him in as a center back, he'd be so good.
Will you be?
No, he'd be so good.
Milinkovic.
Yeah.
Not Milinkovic Savic. Milinkovic-Savic is the midfielder. You're talking about Nikola Milinkovic, though.
Yeah.
The Fiorentina. Yeah, I know who you're talking
The
about.
center back.
Yes, I know who you're
Oh
talking
my
about.
God, that's I was
Okay,
I agree with him.
Koulibaly and Tomori. Let's just go 2 center backs. You guys are hurting my.
No, but I don't even, I think it's Chris Smalling and Tomori. Like we're not even supposed to go into center backs anyways. We're on left backs right now.
Oh,
bro.
are we? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Theo, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Theo Hernandez.
Theo Hernandez.
Spinazzola, I think, could have contested if he didn't get injured,
Yes, fair.
but Theo Hernandez class. Anyway, center backs.
Koulibaly and Tomori for me.
I mean, Tomori and Smalling, dude. Like Smalling was no. You cannot say Smalling was not class for Roma this year.
Okay, but once again, great. He was class, but where does Roma end up in the table?
Okay, this is going back to our discussion about dude. We're talking about team of the season, and I think Roma did finish higher than Napoli.
They
and
might have.
Koulibaly they might have.
No, Napoli finished in 3rd place, my man.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they
I
finished.
thought they dropped to 4th in the last day of the season.
They only finished 7 points behind Milan. They were 3 points ahead of. No, they were 9 points ahead of Juve,
Wow.
and they were a whopping 16 points ahead of Roma. So yeah, let's keep selling the Chris Smalling former United propaganda.
You're really the one talking about propaganda over here. Really?
Just for the Hungarian national team, my man.
Yeah, sure. Just the Hungarian national team.
Well, I mean, look at the stats that Roma conceded 12 goals more than Napoli. Napoli only conceded 31 goals this year. Joint best defensive record with Milan in the league, while also having the 3rd best attack in the league. So, I'm sticking to Koulibaly and Tomori. I mean, first of all, Tomori, phenomenal.
Besmir, do you not see a Skriniar getting a shout at all?
If we go 3 center backs,
But if we go, here's the thing: if we go 3 center backs, I think we're taking a midfielder out. And do you think there's been better center backs and there's been better midfielders this season?
No. Absolutely not.
I think we'd have to go into like a 3-4-3, or like almost a 3-2-4, because we're gonna have to put wingers in there, not wing backs really.
Yeah,
but then Theo Hernandez comes out, so we have to go.
That's
back.
But then also what about Juan Cuadrado, who's gonna be missing out too?
Yeah, but he can also just play at right
but
back.
Cuadrado hasn't really had a breakout season.
Yeah, but he's besides him and Vlahovic coming in middle of the season, he's been the only solid, consistent player for Juventus, and he's been class.
Yeah, but Cuadrado can play at right back.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Cuadrado he's right back.
So if he can also play right wing back, but I think a back 4 works. I mean,
yeah,
I think it just depends on what your preferences are. You know, for me,
I think it's about 4, but
sorry, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, 2 center backs is what I meant.
Yeah, so
so we have Theo. I think Koulibaly Tomori really fits in.
What about you, Dejan?
Oh man, well, nobody's gonna give my boy Bremer a shout, even though he was voted the best.
Yeah, he was
defender in the Serie A.
He was that man. Bremer had such a great
season. For me, it's Koulibaly and Bremer. That's my vote.
I think Tomori locks it in.
Actually, I'll go Bremer and Tomori.
Oh, just because you know how these votes are going, he's not gonna go Koulibaly.
No, but
so Tomori automatically is gonna get.
No,
it anyway.
I'm struggling because for me it's a toss up between Bremer and Koulibaly. And I think I have to go Koulibaly.
Go for it. I mean,
it's just I have to go.
You're Mr. Vito over here. So.
Mr. Vito.
No, in this case, I'm gonna take his side actually.
Now here's the thing. I do want to give an honorable mention to people like Bastoni, Skriniar, Ibanez. Ibanez, Bremer, like all. I don't know how the Brazilians pronounce it, bro. Not my problem. Don't care.
Ray J.
The only one I need to say correctly is Magnan. That's it. That's all that matters. The rest of them, don't care. No, I'm just joking.
All right, so the 2 center backs we're going with is Tomori and who else was it?
Tomori and Koulibaly.
All right, why not?
And then for right back, so there's only 3 good options I personally saw, which was Cuadrado, Di Lorenzo, and Odriozola.
How dare you not include Kalulu?
Kalulu's not a right back. He's a center back.
He is a right back.
He is a center back.
He's a right back.
He's a center back.
He's a right back.
He's a center back.
Where has he played all season?
He's played center back and right back.
Where more?
He's been flexible in both positions. Because at right back, it was primarily Florenzi starting the season. It wasn't until the last final games of the season that he was forced to play right back.
So it says here he is mainly a right back.
He's mainly a center back.
Anyway, Kalulu has my vote.
Kalulu's not on the list, so you can't vote for someone that's on the list.
Oh, that's fine because I'm just gonna back whatever vote Ardi goes then.
Go for it. We all have our
You know,
opinions.
I think all the guys you mentioned have a strong shout. I think one of the only bright lights at Juve this year was Quadrado. I think he had a good season. My vote goes Quadrado.
The
Okay.
thing is, Adriozola finally had a breakout season for him, which shows that maybe Real might keep him.
Breakout. He was pretty good for Fiorentina.
Well, yeah, but then again, it's like these three center backs these three right backs we're talking about. Quadrado was the only shining light for
So
Juve.
Quadrado gets the vote. Yeah.
But then Di Lorenzo thrived in that back line with Koulibaly next to him. And then Adriozola was really the only bright light for that Fiorentina team. So it's like where
So yes, I agree. Quadrado is definitely getting the start.
Quadrado's definitely going to start. Yeah, I think it's Quadrado for me.
So you got
100%.
Quadrado, and I got Kalulu. Okay, that's fine.
Even though he's not on the short list.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're moving on to the midfielders. So midfielders, we have Tonali, Milinkovic-Savic, Brozovic, Kalinoglu, Barella, Pellegrini, Raspadori, Elmas, Torreira, and Mkhitaryan.
By the way, Raspadori is a striker, but it's okay.
He's a cam.
Okay.
Yeah, wow, Dejan's on one today. He just doesn't want to agree with me.
I know my players, man. I know where they usually play. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, but Raspadori has been playing center forward / cam
Okay, so
for most of the
Raspadori is
season.
the Italian Mason Mount. Understood. Where he could play left wing even though he's a cam.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, I think the cam spot is going to be up for grabs.
I don't think there will be. I don't think this team plays with a cam personally.
So you're thinking
I think
we go,
two center midfielders and a CDM.
Yeah.
I mean, in which case, we're looking at what Tonali, Brozovic, and Milinkovic-Savic.
That's 100% my vote.
We're just gonna ignore Nico Barella.
Nico Barella hasn't had a better season than Milinkovic-Savic.
Yes. Oh, are you kidding me? He's been
Who's
clear
the top
this season.
Okay, me and Ardi are not gonna
Well,
have fun.
you see, he's trying to push his Serbian propaganda right now. At least I'll make a joke about it and be like, no, Albania's not actually making the squad right now.
Well, first of all, let's talk about Elmas for a second. All credit to him. I think he had
I
a very
agree.
good. I think he had a very good
He
season.
had a very good season. that boy.
with at the club and international level with the Macedonian national team.
Mm-hmm.
Considering they knocked out a bunch of his teammates and friends in the Italian national team.
Nico Barella has more assists than Milinkovic-Savic.
What about goals?
Let's see. Top scorer. Oh, we can have silence on air, so we're just gonna talk randomly.
Yep, that's right. Yes. So, Locatelli, by the way, is one of my favorite players in the world.
Yeah, but he had an off season this year, in a Juventus side that was struggling, so you can't really.
Yeah, I think that also just depends on what you consider. He looks off because the whole team looks off. And he's technically still on a loan deal, so it's not like he's even a Juve player, which is kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Talk about quality business by Sassuolo.
But also, talk about AC Milan letting Locatelli go, too, though.
Yeah, well, Milan lets him go. He gets to Sassuolo, right? And then Sassuolo goes, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. Head over to Juve. And at Juve, he's been astonishing. He's the kind of player that I absolutely would have in my side. I think he is the future of the Italian national team in the midfield. He is on a different level compared to everyone else. The class that oozes out of him with every touch, he's just so good. I like him almost as much as I like Mateo Kovacic. Almost.
Here's the thing. Locatelli was better than Jorginho in the World Cup, I would say. Yes or no?
in the World Cup.
I mean, Euro, I meant in the Euro. I'm sorry.
It depends. It depends. I mean, Jorginho at the Euros was world class. So he, Jorginho gets a lot of flack. I think the European Championships were his best performance he's ever put in at any club, any team, anywhere. I think he was that good at the Euros. But I still think our midfielders here, as good as a lot of these other guys were, I think Tonali, Brozovic, Milinkovic, Savic in the midfield three are very, very difficult to come by. I mean, Brozovic, for anyone that knows me, knows I love Brozovic. I think he's top quality, and he's rumored to be on the move, isn't he?
Yeah, supposedly.
Which Brozovic,
every Premier League side's trying to get him right now, but
that's the thing. At 29 years old, it either makes the move now or he's spending the rest of his career in Serie A.
Which is sad because like Brozovic, if City never got a Rodri, he'd thrive there. If Chelsea had to let go of Conte for some reason, he thrives at Chelsea. United, please, we're begging for a center defensive mid. Like we need one bad. We're desperate.
Yeah, Fred. What do you mean?
Fred is not CDM. I've talked about this before on this show, episode 3. You can go back if you want. Fred is not CDM. Plain and simple. But yeah, so Dejan's going Milinkovic Savic as well. Here's the thing. I just don't know because I just think Barella's has just been more instrumental for Inter Milan personally. Like he's just had such a great season.
This season, the one player that's been talked about most in that midfield is Brozovic.
Well, it was Brozovic, Barella, and Çalhanoğlu. Those three were just outstanding as a midfield three.
But Brozovic has been out. He's outclassed the both of them this season.
Well, he's just been defensively solid
and attackingly solid too.
Well, I mean, primarily most of the assists were going through Çalhanoğlu and Barella. That's why they're both tied at 12. Both of them have 12 assists.
I think Çalhanoğlu and Barella look that good because of Brozovic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I agree. Brozovic has been superb defensively, but I think we still have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, no, I think Barella and Çalhanoğlu quality players, right? I have no argument with that. I think they are. I think Barella makes our bench. I think Milinkovic Savic is.
But then what? My thing is, what about Mkhitaryan then, or even a Pellegrini?
See, I think Pellegrini was part of that underwhelming group of players.
Oh, you thought he was underwhelming? I thought he did well for the season.
He did okay.
Yeah, I think. I also think it's hard because there was a group of those players that kind of just didn't look the part this season. And, you said Pellegrini and you said Mkhitaryan. I think Mkhitaryan is great. I mean, he's rumored to be leaving Roma now, right?
I don't know because
he's leaving on a free. Yeah,
he's going to Inter.
He's going to Inter on a free.
Well, it's just like every time.
Bye-bye, John.
Every time Mkhitaryan links up Mourinho, he has a glass season. Every time.
So my question is, who's leaving Inter for Mkhitaryan to come in?
Çalhanoğlu.
I don't know.
Does he leave, or is Brozovic actually going out, or is Barella being picked up by a bigger side?
Or is he just taking Vidal's spot in the team? Because Vidal's going to be leaving, Arturo Vidal.
If I'm Mkhitaryan, I'm never leaving to go be like Mkhitaryan's what 31 now, 32.
I thought he just turned 30.
30, yeah.
Is he okay? At 30 years old, Brozovic is 29 years old. The rest of the guy, Barella's how old?
24.
24. Çalhanoğlu's what, 27, 28?
I think he's 29.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still on the older side. Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense for Mkhitaryan to go in there. I mean, now, listen, they're going to compete for the title again next season, sure. I think it's an exciting project at Roma.
I'm wrong completely. He's 28.
Who?
Çalhanoğlu.
Okay, so...
he's 28.
I don't know.
No, you're off by 1 year. You said 29.
I thought he was older. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think Mkhitaryan was. I don't think Mkhitaryan compares to the performances those midfield three had for Inter this year. So I don't see why he'd step out and take that risk.
Mkhitaryan's 33.
33.
Yeah, right. So at 33 years old, listen, you're going to Inter to compete for a title next season, but you're doing it as a backup.
He's a squad player.
The thing I see with Mkhitaryan, it just depends what happens with Roma, how many players they lose. Because supposedly Tammy Abraham's on the out. People want him because he had a good season.
I don't see Tammy.
I don't see any teams that
I don't
need
see
Tammy
any.
right now.
Well,
especially in England.
supposedly Arsenal's trying to go in for him.
Arsenal trying to go for everyone, man.
Well, Arsenal needs a striker. They need a striker.
They're gonna get Gabriel Jesus.
No, well, supposedly who was
Mark
that?
my words.
I think Real's trying to sneak Gabby Jesus off of him.
That wouldn't be too bad of a pickup.
You have him out on the right with Benzema and Vinicius.
I don't think Tammy goes to Arsenal though. I don't think there's even a shout for that.
Tammy, who was literally born and bred in Cobham, is not gonna go to Arsenal.
I don't know.
There's no.
I don't think it's just that though. I think, with no disrespect to Mikel Arteta, I'm not leaving Mourinho in Roma for Arteta and Arsenal.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, unless it's all about getting back into England and whatever. You know, I don't think that makes sense.
Do you think Tammy can make it back into the national team by playing in Italy?
Yeah, he should.
If it was me, yes. I don't know how Southgate thinks.
Because Southgate, I don't think Southgate
the
called.
problem. He doesn't.
Southgate
Yeah, fair.
didn't call up Tomori. I didn't see him call up Tomori for this past Nations League.
Southgate only calls up players that
Play in England.
yeah, or they're somewhat more experienced.
Well,
This is Tomori's first season out of Chelsea.
Yeah,
so.
but still, like he called up Tomori when he was still at Chelsea. He hasn't called up Tomori ever since he went to AC Milan.
Well, Southgate doesn't also have a brain.
That is true.
If you sit there, if he plays Harry Maguire back there, then
Southgate being the manager for England is the equivalent of me when I try to play poker. I just don't know what I'm doing.
or you just get very lucky. I blame Granit for giving you good cards.
What do you mean? That the hand I got dealt for those pocket aces against Exxon was not Granit
Every
dealing.
single hand you won, you had a good. Yeah, you had.
I had an insane hand. I don't know how. Anyways, besides the point,
No, Tomori's been on the. He was called up to this most recent.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, but regardless, he hasn't played, and pundits alike all agree Tomori over Maguire, but that's a different story, I guess.
Tomori over half the England defense.
Well, definitely.
So, midfield 3.
Milinkovic, Savic, Tamale, Brozovic. For me.
I agree.
So then I'm not gonna make my vote because you guys. That's clearly gonna go through. So it's Tonali, Milinkovic, Savic, and Brozovic as our midfield 3.
Powerhouse midfield 3.
Now, here's the thing. I feel like the attack is gonna be the toughest one to pick out.
Not for me.
There are so many names here.
Especially for the striker option. There's not.
What do you mean for the striker?
Oh, well, he's putting Vlahovic on there.
Yeah, because of his.
But I agree. Vlahovic, Leao.
He goes from Fiorentina to Juventus and nothing changes. He's still
Nothing
scoring
changes. His performance has dropped off at Juve.
Now, we're considering Rafael Leao a winger, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Leao,
Are you watching some of the
Immobile,
games also?
I am.
Berardi, Vlahovic, like that. Now, here's the thing. This is where I think Dybala doesn't fit into our lineup right now because
The ball doesn't make the team personally.
you know. So I think like Immobile with Vlahovic up top with Berardi and Leao on the wings
Yeah.
is
Immobile was top goal scorer this season.
yeah. Who stops that? Who stops that from for God's sake? Like that's
Well, Vlahovic would have got if Vlahovic didn't leave Fiorentina. Vlahovic gets top goal scorer this season.
yes, and I still think he did well at transitioning into the Juve side. I mean, first of all, I think Berardi, the fact that he hasn't been able to get out of
Sassuolo.
Sassuolo, and he's been stuck there for so long is a shame because he is someone who I think could have lit up the Prem
Anywhere.
anywhere. Yeah, exactly. He's just that kind of a player. And listen, he's only 27 years old.
Just imagine Real Madrid's like, let's make a smart investment for once. Go for a Berardi.
Berardi would be phenomenal at Juve. At Real.
Oh my God.
Juve. Real. And I think I think Berardi is also very underrated on the international stage.
Oh, yeah.
I think across the globe,
the issue
he doesn't
is?
get enough credit.
Is because of Chiesa's come up lately that you really haven't been able to see much of Berardi. I mean, here's the like rightfully so. Every time you see Chiesa in that national team, he does make great performances.
Dang, I didn't even know Berardi played for Juventus. That's crazy.
Well, he didn't because they sent him on loan for 2 years back to Sassuolo, and then he left them and went to Sassuolo. So he's realistically been at Sassuolo for over a decade.
Yeah.
A decade for a senior career. How crazy is that? He's made, 308 appearances for Sassuolo, just in 3 separate spells. There on loan once he was at Juve, there for 2 years, and then back there now.
It's crazy.
Berardi is somebody who watching him play is also a lot of fun. Like there's certain players that I like when I watch a match. like Luis Diaz at Liverpool. Like, they're fun to watch in a match. Berardi is fun to watch. Rafa Leao is fun to watch. Immobile and Vlahovic are fun to watch. I think these are 4 attackers who know what's required of an attacker, and they execute it pretty well. You know, they do what they're supposed to do. I think it's that simple.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my friend here in his Milan jersey, I mean,
Forza Rossoneri.
you know, it's yeah, today's Wednesday, so today just depends on whatever jersey you decide to show up in. You know, that front four, I mean, Ardi, that front four for you makes it?
Well, it can't be a front four.
Oh, well, 2 wingers and 2
That's
forwards.
Right.
Oh, God, no, we can't.
No,
No, it's
we
not
have
a
3
4-2-4.
midfielders.
Oh, my Lord, yes. So
It's a 4-3-3.
I forgot we took 3 midfielders. God.
Leao, Vlahovic, Berardi.
See, I think Immobile gets it over Vlahovic if we have to pick for now.
I'm checking it right now. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, 27 goals, 2 assists. Vlahovic, 24 goals, 3 assists.
Oh my god,
What do you mean? Oh my God.
I gotta go, bro. I gotta walk out this room.
Okay, go walk home, bro.
There's no way.
No, it has to be. Leao, Immobile, and Berardi.
I agree
I
there.
don't see anybody else. Granted, I do want to give some shouts. So let me read off my short list at least, because I put some time and effort into this. So for attackers, I had up Leao. Where do we put Perisic in this equation? Because Perisic is like a left back, a left wing back, a left winger. I just threw him in the left. I just threw him in the attackers.
He's a
category.
squad player.
Yeah,
He plays any position.
yeah. And then there's Insigne, officially a Toronto FC player.
Yeah, now, right?
Yep. Damsgaard, who was class for Sampdoria. I want to give credits to. Rebic for AC Milan.
I don't know why he's there.
I mean, Tuesday, he's primarily a left winger, but he's been floating in and around the team. And especially because of injuries, he hasn't been able to be as good as he can be. Then there's Goossens. Went from Atalanta to Inter, which was a shock transfer in the middle of the season. Then, of course, there's Vlahovic, Immobile, Dybala. How about Lautaro Martinez? What does he have to do to just make more of his career? Does he have to leave Inter? But where does he go?
Anywhere. Just leave Inter.
But where does
Premier
the
League.
team?
Arsenal.
Yeah.
There you
Oh
go.
my God! If he goes to Arsenal,
There's your field day. Go score goals against, Bournemouth and Fulham.
I don't know. That's tough call. Because you have Martinez, Zlatan, the god, Simeone, Giroud, Tammy Abraham, Osimhen, and for right wingers it was just Chiesa, Lozano, and Berardi.
I'm trying to think of another right winger. Maybe
There
I should just-
there
I
wasn't
don't think-
really, like, performance-wise, there wasn't that many right wingers.
Nah, I gotta just make sure.
Not like the League One when you have Beauregard as a guaranteed starter.
In your dreams, yes, of course.
No. Yeah, just like in your dreams, Vlahovic starts for this team.
That's okay.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
know, we know who's better for the future.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Vlahovic is going to light it up, of course. And I think if he's in a better Juventus team, we're going to see much better out of him. But, wait, I'm looking back now. So, besides Vlahovic, our team's nearly exactly the same as EA's.
To be honest, EA hit on the spot.
Now, the thing is we have to fix up now is the bench. Who makes the bench for us, boys?
Barella,
Barella guaranteed.
Vlahovic,
Vlahovic.
Kalulu.
Kalulu's not in the short list. We can't put Kalulu.
Wait, will we classify Zaniolo as a right winger?
I mean, yeah, but he's same thing as Mason Mount. It's someone who's a cam who was playing right forward.
What
this
about
season.
what about Orsolini?
Orsolini was okay, but I don't see him better as a Berardi or like a Lozano or a Chiesa.
You remember this guy?
Oh my God,
Biabiani?
Biabiani.
he's still around. Well, so we're doing what? One defender, one midfield, 2 midfielders, a forward,
Yes, so like a defender.
like a Skriniar.
Yeah, I think a Skriniar gets a shout.
Skriniar. We said Barella. We said Vlahovic. So one more midfielder. I mean, Çalhanoğlu maybe gets a shout. I mean, you guys also said
There's also Mkhitaryan, Elmas, Torreira, Raspadori, Pellegrini.
yeah, I mean, I think Çalhanoğlu had a better season.
Of course,
than those
that's why
guys.
I think it should be Skriniar, Çalhanoğlu, Barella, Vlahovic.
I agree.
What's up, Dan?
Why isn't Frank Kessie on this list?
I just don't think it was good enough, honestly.
And he didn't want
Benacer?
to overpopulate with Milan players.
You should
true.
have.
Yeah, but also, yeah, you should have, but you're still going to pick Brozovic, Milinkovic-Savic, and Tonali, yes or
Yeah,
no?
but Benacer also had an amazing season at Milan.
Yeah, but like I just said,
Weston McKennie?
you're not picking any of them over Milinkovic-Savic, Brozovic, or Tonali. I mean, granted,
You're not wrong.
all of them might take Milinkovic-Savic's place, but
Yeah, and Lunatic's mind, of course.
hey,
You know, all I'm going to argue about is one simple thing. And I'm not trying to cause any trouble here.
Just by that sentence alone, you look at the question.
Olivier Giroud is absolutely phenomenal. I just want to give an honorable mention to him.
Yep.
The guy, he's hard to not love. You know, I don't think I've ever met a single person that doesn't like Olivier Giroud. You know, except
His ex-wife.
what?
His ex-wife.
Maybe.
His ex-wife.
Yeah. But Olivier Giroud.
also could have been a model, in my opinion. No,
Yeah.
He was
maybe.
voted world's what was it?
most handsome footballer
Yeah.
or something.
I speak to my forwards very often at the youth level, and I kind of explain to them that there are certain aspects of your game that, on and off the field, are super important to understand. And for someone like Giroud, it's that passion all the time, like we spoke about earlier, where he's super underrated. But Giroud, great hold-up play. He'll work his butt off for the team. You know, he is such a hard worker. He comes up with the goals because he is a very good finisher. You know, he's, besides maybe being a little slow, he's very, very well rounded. And there's no glitz or glamour or cute little things in his play. He just puts the ball in the back of the net is what he does. He's great in that regard.
Now here's okay. Well, what's up, Maz? How you doing?
What up, buddy?
Maz came here to surprise us. Maz, here, I'll turn your mic on real quick if you want to hop on.
I heard the conversation. I just couldn't stay away.
So, Maz, we're talking about Serie A team of the season.
Interesting.
So for our choices, we have Magnan, Hernandez, Koulibaly, Skriniar, Cuadrado, Tonali, Brozovic, Milinkovic-Savic, Leao, Mobley, and Berardi.
Interesting.
And then for our bench, we have wait. Oh no, we didn't pick Skriniar for center back.
Who did we pick?
We picked
Tamori
and Koulibaly.
Yes.
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 So Skriniar made our bench. So it's
Yes.
the bench is Skriniar, Çalhanoğlu,
Barella,
Barella,
and Vlahovic.
Vlahovic.
Quality team. I actually have no grievances.
Bass just
a
wanted to come in
surprise.
and just hang out with us. He misses us a bit.
Yeah, we're having
100%.
the messy debate again. Actually,
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, 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 no,
Ardi's
no,
just gonna kick me out if
We
I
are.
bring it
It's
up
just
again.
it's just in a different.
No.
in a
So
different league.
here's the thing. Actually, this is what I wanted to end the show on. Out of all the team of the seasons we made, which one is the best one?
Syria.
Has the best team, you think?
which one has the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo? I know. I'm gonna have Maz back this up, so I can say the EPL.
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
I did like the EPL one.
the EPL one is a strong team. Honestly, the weakest team there
Bundesliga.
was the Bundesliga or the Liga.
Yeah, I think Bundesliga is the weakest. I think Serie A versus the Prem would be such a good match.
But also,
I agree.
the La Liga team was filth, too.
Yeah, La Liga was very good. I don't know. I think it's a good thing that all five are still very good sides. It shows it was a good year for club football, and it shows in the
Should
team
we?
of the seasons.
Here's the question I wanted to pose: Should like, for example, like UEFA like leagues
All-star matches, Lord
Yes.
have mercy.
So you have like the Serie A All Stars versus the Prem All Stars.
See, nobody thinks like us. That's the problem. You know, that'd be an amazing match.
Or,
Instead of MLS
or maybe that's a
All-Stars,
good thing that no one thinks
No,
like
yeah,
that.
maybe it's good.
fair. Instead of having MLS All-Stars go up against, clubs like Juventus, Atletico Madrid, why not just have, the best 11 that you could put from one league go up against another league?
See, that's better than the Nations League, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's
honestly.
I would pay a lot of money to go watch the Premier League kick
Against
some
the Serie A.
Bundesliga butt.
Maz, so let's say, I would say you were a casual fan, yes or no?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So as a casual,
Yeah.
what would entice you more? A Nations League international match or a best 11 via best 11 match?
See, that's hard just for the fact of it all depends on who's playing. Like, if you give me, obviously, if you give me, France versus Portugal, I want to see that a little more, to be completely honest. But, obviously, if you're talking about, Switzerland versus, Hungary, no, I don't want to see that. I'd much rather watch
You're
best 11 go
hurting his
after.
heart. Hungary just beat England the other day.
You've never watched Hungary play.
No, dude, Hungary just sits
Not
back
even-
and they play the counter like they're a little, they're a wall. They're a wall. and-
I'm not even making eye contact with you, Maz.
listen, no hate against it. It's just I would much rather would watch the best 11 from France go against the best 11 from Serie A go at it, as opposed to just
that's
those
fair.
two teams.
That's fair. I mean, and next week on Matchweek, the Hungarian First Division team of the season.
No, we're not. No,
I don't even know the name of the league. I can't even
That's
say
the
the
thing.
name
If
of the
you at
league.
least said the name of the league, I could have given you credit for it. But no,
I can't. Can you even name a team in that?
Well, yeah, Ferencváros.
Dude, I went to
No,
go say. I went to
no,
go say.
that's cap. He's definitely just saying some random words right now. He's definitely saying a name of a player. and
I
just saying
thought I
the
knew a
team.
team, and I was like,
Budapest
oh, Besiktas. I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait,
Yeah,
that's
Budapest
No,
not.
no. You gotta be careful. You might insult some
Yeah,
fans
my
there.
bad. I did not mean that. I can't name a team. I apologize.
Oh, man.
I'm sure it's great soccer, but can't do it.
No, I'm certain probably it's not great soccer. Ferencváros does play in the Europa League quite often, makes the Champions League group stage once in a while.
Budapest
sure.
Honved, the same
Yeah.
team that Puskás played for.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sure.
The great
Or do you have
Hungarian.
any clue what they're
Sure,
talking about right now?
I'm just gonna agree with them at this point because it's tough.
Well,
I was
the-
up for
soccer
this.
This is
knowledge is
exactly why when you asked me if I was a casual, I was like, let's see, scan the room. Yes, absolutely casual
Absolutely
in this
casual,
setting,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Ardi doesn't know any clubs aside from teams named Manchester or United.
Sounds like you with Chelsea, though, my man.
No,
hit him with an out, Besmir. You're good. I know. I
I'm
know
a
you know your
huge
stuff.
North Jersey FC fan.
Fair.
Greatest youth club in the country. That's just selling some of that. But
See, Besmir always has propaganda to push
you want to know why I love Hungary so much? Besides the fact that I manage my FIFA career mode.
because you're always hungry.
But yeah, that's one thing. I haven't even had breakfast or lunch today. This is killing me.
But
But they also had one of the greatest national team sides ever in the Great Magyars.
Well, would
With
you say they
Puskás.
had it better than Brazil?
What? No, but they had a side that dominated the world for a couple of years. I mean, Puskás scored so many amazing goals. He has an award named after him for the nicest goal of the year.
we always talk about greatest of all time, like Pele, Maradona. All, I'm like, Puskás,
Like Franz
Puskás,
Puskás.
Puskás has an award named after him for like insane goals. Like, does that not get a shout?
Swing everything back around to Olivier Giroud, winning that
my God.
award because he's essentially the greatest.
I'm gonna
player
say
to
this
ever
right
step
now:
foot.
Mkhitaryan Scorpion Kick was so much better. You
No.
can't tell me otherwise.
Why? Because Mkhitaryan played for United.
Damn right. Oh,
Uh,
dang right. You're right about that one. Oh,
listen,
it slipped.
I'll-
I was waiting for it to slip this
That
whole
was
day today.
fantastic.
all I know is
Oh,
one
my
thing.
God.
All I know is one thing. All right, Olivier Giroud. He is in every single Hall of Fame, and anything along those lines. He deserves it. He is such a phenomenal.
I think
footballer.
I think you're more entranced by his looks and how he actually plays.
First of all, his
I mean,
hair,
that is a
beard,
great hairline.
Oh
man.
yeah, he
come
does
on.
phenomenal hairline.
and listen. All I know is he has a sweet left foot. He hits bicycle kicks, scorpion kicks. He hits all this crazy diving headers, and he gets no recognition. My man is a World Cup winner.
all I know is that no team would touch Yugoslavia. That's
Oh my god,
point blank.
He's not
period.
wrong.
dude! Imagine if Yugoslavia had a national team.
Yeah, me at
Dude, I was
center
I
back.
was literally just saying, I was watching the Portugal Spain game for Nations League. I was like, if I could just combiine the two, they take it all the way. Not that that's ever going to happen. And then my cousin was like, "Oh yeah, you should have like if Yugoslavia was still a thing, forget about it."
Your cousin's invited on the
Because think
show.
about it, because like Yugoslavia, it was made up of like Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia.
There are some good Macedonian sides.
Macedonia, like
Goran Pandev, unreal.
dude. Like that's the thing. If you like a huge player pool like that, like let's put this in the like concept. So like if you look at France, right? France has a huge player pool to pick between. Now imagine if someone like the U.S. can capitalize on something like that, because the amount of athletes that are in the United States, even if you take only 1% of them and make them football players, it's
So here's the deal. Yugoslavia is playing up top. Dzeko, Mandzukic, like
Vlahovic,
Mitrovic. Like imagine, like put anyone in the midfield next. First of all, take Croatia's midfield of Rakitic, Kovacic, Brozovic, Modric.
yeah.
Like, does anybody like? They are like when we look at all of the teams of the season. Like take a bunch of the key players out, and you have Yugoslavia. Like you can say about a lot of other countries, sure. But like I think Yugoslavia having the international manager position, the national team manager position on the Yugoslavian national team would be the worst job in the world. At the same time, it's the best job in the world. Like I'd personally be upset if I was the manager and I had to make call-ups to the national team, because you can't bring 60 guys onto the national team.
Yeah, but that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, but Besto,
Yeah, wonderful.
you made the point earlier with France. Just put your hand into a hat and pick a random name.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, but we just spoke about 4 midfielders from one of the countries, just from Croatia. And, like, that doesn't even include, like, we didn't talk about Kramaric or all these other guys. Like, there's so many of these other players we haven't spoken about.
You just mentioned another Croatian.
Yeah. But that's just from Croatia. Croatia went to a World Cup final,
Yeah.
right? They went to a World Cup final.
That means a boy can dream.
No, not you, Dejan.
No,
You're not going to a World Cup final.
But like that doesn't include Montenegro and all these other like, dude. There's so many. But anyway, we only have 6 minutes before.
Might as well use our time wisely.
But fellas, here's the thing though, right? Like that just makes me think like you just talk about like Yugoslavia. What about like if the USSR was still a thing, you know?
Well, it's just
Did they really
the
have
USSR would have just eaten up all the Balkans.
It was just
and then that would have been the national team.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it was just
The USSR would have been the only national team left if they had their way.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be ridiculous.
USSR, China, North Korea would all have their own World Cup. They'd each play each other once.
It'd be the USSR Cup, not the World Cup.
Yeah.
the USSR Cup because they are the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, the Red Cup.
Seriously though, I do think that the United States is on the come up. We're seeing soccer become like football become more popular,
prominent.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
you know, in the country. I think the MLS is going to be a top 3 league in probably, I give it under 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, we're already seeing like the National League looking better than it kind of ever has in terms of talent wise, all over the place. You got Pulisic and McKinney and stuff. I don't know, fellas. What do you guys think for United States like football moving forward?
I think we will slowly become. No, not slowly. I think we're on the cusp of being the greatest team in CONCACAF. I love seeing the development made by Canada over the last couple of years. Mexico is always going to be.
I no longer have respect for Canada.
Well, that's
But you want to know why?
not really. But
Alfonso
anyway.
Davies, his girlfriend, broke up with him.
That's
That has nothing to do with Canada.
She's Canadian, and she's going after Kylian Mbappe now.
okay.
Not cool.
Mbappe owns the club. What are
Does
you gonna
not
do?
matter. You do not do my boy Alfonso like that, bro.
Mbappe owns the club.
Does not matter. Alfonso Davies,
It was,
bro.
he gave her
doesn't
his
matter.
contract. It was part of
Yeah.
Mbappe's contract. Alfonso Davies' girlfriend.
He came up to the girl and said, "You either leave him or you're out the club." And she was like, "Fine."
I think the U.S. will slowly become the powerhouse in. Not slowly. Once again, I think
They are the
will in
powerhouse.
the next couple of years will become the powerhouse in North
Yep.
America and CONCACAF.
The U.S. is the powerhouse of
They
the
are.
cell. I
And
agree.
I think we will be. Yes, we are the mitochondria of North America and Central America. But I think we'll put ourselves comfortably in the top 20, top 15 over the next couple of years.
Well-
I think by the time the World Cup comes here, I
I mean, they
People
reached
don't
top
like it.
10 at one point before, like.
Well, here's the question. It's that
see us making a quarterfinal
does
appearance, semifinal
U.S.
appearance at our World Cup.
does U.S. only progress if they can capitalize on the amount of athletes that there are in the U.S.
But even without that whole selling point because you're never going to take players away from the NBA, from basketball or from football or anything.
Well,
I think you can. 100%.
At the younger level, you can.
Sure,
Absolutely.
but I don't think you even need to. We have the most complex youth system in the world here. Not that it's organized properly, but we have one of the most complex youth systems in the world. I think our system, and this is just from my experience in the youth game, I think our system to identify talent isn't
Good enough.
It can't compete with other nations, right? Where you have a Manchester United, they have their scouts at all these primary schools and all these small youth leagues and whatnot, scouting players, right, from all over the greater Manchester area and England as a whole. You don't have that here. You have to go to these select team tryouts and you have to try out for this academy or that academy. You have to be able to afford these academies.
You have to understand it's a capitalist market. Like football around the world is not a capitalist market.
That's fine. It would be okay. Listen, pay to play has its issues. It's also a huge reason we've been able to grow the game because it's allowed more people to buy into taking this profession on full time.
But Zlatan recognized it when he was here in the U.S.
He did, but without pay to play, you don't have the experienced coaches coming from around the world to come work here.
I also think you need to build up the league. Like, you got to build up the MLS because why do you think like the best athletes in the country are playing football? They're playing basketball.
Yeah, for this
they're also
country,
playing
sure.
soccer. But like, if you really want to get like the kids that like
Also,
this country
the
to
money
play,
isn't there. It's just plain simple.
For me, I'd say I have no problem with the MLS being a 10th league in the world, or kind of even where it's hovering now. Maybe if they can organize it with some promotion, relegation, that kind of stuff would be great. I believe. I think the national team is the most important aspect in our country because I think like you look at the viewership for the average NFL game versus the big game they play, right? It's through the roof. I think the World Cup is in the same regard. The next 4 years from this week, right, is going to be the largest viewership and interaction we've ever seen with the game in this country when the tournament comes here.
Yeah.
And I think in this time span, we need to do everything we can to continue growing the game as we are. And a good performance by our national team there propels our sport 5 years from now into being the biggest sport in this country.
That's what helped us back in '92, right? Is the fact that FIFA came in, they allowed us to host the World Cup, but they gave explicit amount of rule sets that we had to follow. Like, hey, make sure you have a number one developed league. Make sure your players taken care of.
Yeah, within 5 years you have to have an established professional league. And this is a whole conversation, and we're almost up here. The World Cup, if done properly, will be the largest catalyst we've ever seen for development in this country. With modern technology, social media, there's a chance we can propel ourselves to the main stage.
I also agree with that. Just last thing here is just that like I think kids need more access to it because when you got like the big games, dude, it's some of the kids are still in school as these big games are being played, right?
Yeah.
Like a Champions League and stuff. And then they got to wake up early on like a Saturday or Sunday morning to catch one of like the bigger leagues sometimes. It's just kind of harder where it's like if you could have it in the same time frame for them, it'd be a lot easier to get these kids more involved because watching more progress.
And it's hard because someone like me who I don't watch the New York Red Bulls play in a lot of matches because their games coincide directly with my youth
Which is the
soccer
point we've
schedule.
made before, is that like people who are heavily involved in the sport in this country are involved with it outside of it besides just watching. They're coaching, they're playing.
Gotcha.
All of the fans are those who are heavily in the sport. There are not enough casual fans in this
Because the thing
country.
is, with the casuals, though, even so, it's that even though they're kids playing Little League that day, Little League doesn't take place same time as like Monday Night Football. It doesn't take place same time as like NBA games.
How many people aren't Giants fans in this area, but they'll go to MetLife and watch a match, right? A game, not a match. They'll go watch a football game because it's an experience, right? I think we need to do a better job at creating that experience for casual fans to come in. So not all the soccer coaches and soccer players specifically have full stadiums.
Well, that's
the hardest.
That also starts with teams having their own legitimate stadiums, not playing at a baseball field.
And the MLS running penalties need to come back. Those were phenomenal. and with that,
man. And with that, guys, you are listening Top of the Hour on WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Match Week. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. I'll see you guys.